All right, Chambers County Commissioner Court come to order. Excuse me, it's Tuesday, the 24th day of May, 2022. 9:30 a.m. County Courtroom, Manaway, Texas. Now 9:36 a.m. It's a regular meeting of Commissioners Court. And before we start, I'd like to advise you that previous Sheriff Philip Burkhalter passed away a couple of days ago. He was Sheriff Chambers County from 92 to 2000. So remember his family in the prayers, please. All right, you'll all rise. Bobby Hall, would you please?
Conduct the business of Chambers County. We have this guidance and direct us, give us your wisdom in all the decisions we make. Lord, yes, we lift up the work call name at this time. Just be with that family, comfort them, and give them peace as only you can. Lord, we have a special guest. Lovely lady. So we're thankful for her, what she's been to all of us. Lord, we just praise your name. Again, give us wisdom to make decisions. Christ, we pray.
God's gonna hold you up to tempt court, sir. Join us in the pledges.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. All right, first on the agenda, public citizens' comments. You have 3 minutes to make your comments. Sorry. And if you'll come up to the microphone, Ellis Kramer, 9.1. Ms. Kramer, do you want to wait till we get to that item, or you would like to talk now? Okay, why don't you just wait, and it may be better if you wait till we get to that. All right, Larry Marr, are you going to wait to the item 3.1? Park Patterson, 3.8. I'm gonna wait, yes, sir. Larry Willis, 8.1. Okay. And Linda Willis, same. Mark O'Grady, 8.1. And the birthday girl, Lenny Evelyn Stanley, 8.1. She'll wait there. And we'll get to them pretty quick, so y'all don't sit around there all day. Okay, speaking of Miss Stanley, 1.1 is discuss and consider resolution honoring Lenny Evelyn Stevenson Stanley on her 100th birthday for a contribution to not only the Smith Point community, but also to the history of Chambers County and education and well-being of the many people whose lives she has touched. And this was actually presented to her by the sheriff on Saturday, May the 14th. Commissioner Gore, you got that up? You want to read it?
Okay. Whereas Lenny Evelyn Stevenson Stanley was born in Corpus Christi, Texas on May 11, 1922, to Jesse Ralph Stevenson and Ruby Leanne Nelson, both born in Dobile, Texas, and whereas Evelyn moved with her family to Smith Point, Texas at the age of 5 and has raised the majority of her life, and whereas Evelyn married her husband Morris, a World War II veteran, and together they raised one child, Ronald Morris Stanley, and whereas Evelyn.
Microphone.
Can you tweak it over there? I'm sorry. We can barely hear you.
It's on.
Sorry about that. Whereas
Yeah, start over again. Miss Stanley, you want to make your way up? Sure, if you want to.
Leave your start over.
Yeah, go ahead. You. It's in the packet.
You want me to continue reading?
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas Evelyn Veracity for life and willingness to work hard has led to many adventures, much knowledge,
I
and
want to get your picture with Commissioner Ford.
Oh, wow. Come on up.
We didn't know all this was going on. Oh, no.
That, well, that's, we presented it to her at her birthday party right here.
thy knowledge and host of family, friends who live, see positive impact. Now therefore be it resolved that the Chambers County Commissioner Court hereby honor Lenny Evelyn Stevenson Stanley at the celebration of her 100th birthday for her education, well-being of the many people whose lives she has touched. Resolved at the 12th day of May, 2022.
What's my Commissioner Court? Second by Commissioner Court.
Over here first.
Look over here. That big ugly guy in the blue shirt.
Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate it. There's two of them.
Yeah.
Stand side by
All right.
No,
Yeah, you shouldn't talk about him that way. All right. Yep, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. A little bit related, but it's happy.
We didn't know anything about it. Evelyn. They didn't tell us anything about it.
Surprise.
Get my right glasses out so I can see it.
All right, there was a motion by Commissioners Court, second by Commissioners Court to approve that, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations and happy birthday, Miss Stanley. 1.2, discuss, consider resolution recognizing and honoring the life and service of Galveston County Commissioner Galveston and Houston Galveston Area Council member, Board Member Ken Clark. Commissioner Hammond.
Whereas Commissioner Ken Clark has served on Galveston County Commissioners Court since 1998. And whereas Commissioner Clark has served on the Board of Directors at the Houston Galveston Area Council, representing Galveston County since 2009. And whereas Commissioner Clark was nominated to serve as Vice Chair of the Houston Galveston Area Council Board of Directors in 2021 and in 2022 as Chair-elect. And whereas Commissioner Clark has served on and chaired multiple board committees at the Houston Galveston Area Council, including Finance and Budget Committee, Legislative, and Planning Committees. And whereas Commissioner Clark was a strong advocate for fiscal responsibility, government accountability, and regional transportation, including serving as chair of the Transportation Policy Council. And whereas the Chambers County Commissioners Court extends its condolences to Commissioner Clark's family, friends, and colleagues at his passing on May 8, 2022. Whereas his dedication and public service to not only Galveston County, but also the region has undoubtedly benefited 13 counties, of which the Houston Galveston Area Council is comprised. Now, therefore, it be resolved by the Chambers County Commissioners Court that Commissioner Ken Clark be commended for his distinguished life and service to the region, and that this court extends its deepest condolences to his family. Unanimously passed and approved this 24th day of May, 2022 by the Chambers County Commissioners Court.
Second.
Motion by Commissioners Court, second by Commissioners Court. All those in favor?
I would like to make a
Go
comment.
ahead, Commissioner.
When I came on the TPC, Ken Clark was our chairman. And shortly after coming on, we started looking at the call for projects. I noticed that there were no projects awarded to the east side of the 610 loop. And I raised a concern about that, and he took it to heart. He appointed a special committee, and we've made some great strides. We're still working on it, but Ken Clark is the one that picked up on it and appointed that special committee that he let me serve on. And he was very helpful in trying to be fair and make sure everybody had a voice. So it's very much appreciated.
Yeah, good guy, just a good guy and a good commissioner, and good for the region, like the resolution said. All right, we are going to maintenance building 7.1. Those of you may or may not be aware, the old library in Winnie is now going to be a community building, and the item is to discuss and consider resolution honoring retired Commissioner Mark Ellison by naming the former Winnie Library in his honor and christening the building as the Commissioner Mark Ellison Community Building. I have some stories about Mark, but I'm gonna hold off in this group, all right? Tommy Henry, you got any stories you want to tell? You scared?
I don't think we need to tell us yet.
All right, whereas Mark Ellison was born in Beaumont, Texas in 1948. Man, you're old, Mark. Graduated from the Allen Military Academy in 1967 and Texas A&M University in 1972. Whereas after his graduation from A&M, Mark returned home to Winnie, Texas, where he became a small businessman and rice farmer for 40 years. Whereas Mark has lived a life of service to his community, having served as a member of the Knights of Columbus, ASCS Board of Directors, the Winnie Co-op Board of Directors, St. Louis Catholic Church Pastoral Council, and the Devers Canal System Board of Directors. He's also been honored with the Community Builders Award by the Masonic Lodge of Winnie, Texas, Rice Festival Young Farmer of the Year, and Texas Rice Festival Parade Marshal twice. He was active in the creation of the Gulf Coast Little Dribblers, served on the Arboretum Advisory Board for many years, and whereas Mark was elected to the office of Chambers County Commissioner in 1992. Actually, Mark and I came into office at the same time, so we've been together a long time. And served in that role for nearly 3 decades before his retirement. Whereas Mark had been a model citizen of and advocate for Winnie Stoll his entire life. Therefore, be it resolved that the members of the Chambers County Commissioners Court hereby honor retired Commissioner Mark Ellison by naming the former Winnie Library in his honor, christening the building as the Commissioner Mark Ellison Community Building. Motion by Commissioners Court, second by Commissioners Court. All those in favor? Aye. Somebody has any stories? I'll tell you one quick story. This is a good one. Mark and I started going to, I was always home. My baby's growing up. I think my daughter was like 4, 3 or 4. And I worked in the oil field. I was home all the time, never went anywhere. Well, Mark started coming to the house, picking me up to go to these conferences. And my baby hated Mark. She cried and cried and cried. Every time Mark would pull up in the driveway, she'd go crying. But she learned to love him just like the rest of us did. So Mark, you'll come up. Congratulations. You want to introduce the family?
Yeah, with my wife Gina,
And then,
yeah, where's my son-in-law? Anthony
Come on.
Law. I do love you. They've been in my house for 4 months, they're building a home. And Kenny ought to go and Susie ought to go to.
come on.
No.
Yeah.
Look at y'all got.
Okay, you guys look at him first, and I'll kind of rearrange. Really? Back there. There you go. All right. Smile, nice. Thank you.
No, this is very humbling. I served 24 years and I enjoyed every minute of it with the judge and the fire courts. And I don't think we have anybody on the court now. But it was a fun ride. It was served the public and I tried to do the best I could. And it wasn't always the best, but it was the best I could do for the majority of my precinct. And that's what you got to keep in mind, is the people in the precinct. Anyway, very humbling. I appreciate it.
You didn't tell them we fought like cats and dogs.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Sir.
Back to business.
That's all the motion stuff.
All right, let's go to 8.1. We got several folks here on that. Discuss, consider adopting revised solid waste ordinance. You guys should, we'll make a citizen comment. Larry Willis. Come on up, Larry. You have 3 minutes to make your comment, sir. Okay.
We had a rumor went around a week or two ago about it was going to cut out the dump down there. I don't know if that's still on the agenda or not, but I hope it's not. There's nothing worse can happen to a neighborhood than raw waste. Just consider your own if you think about that. I don't know if they're going to cut back days. That's the last rumor I've heard. They're going to cut back days on it. That's really not a good idea. If we could find another place or way to cut some costs, I'd appreciate it. Cutting days mean we have to store raw garbage at our house. That's not good either. We're hauling our own garbage to start with, which is okay. Our dump is in our neighborhood. Then there was even talking about having to haul it up to Anahuac or Oak Island or somewhere. That's not gonna work either. You got a lot of poor families down there. It's probably going to end up going to have a lot of garbage in the ditch. Or burning, and you don't want to smell that. But we don't have a lot of amenities in Smith Point, but garbage is one of them. Of about 3 that I know of. We have a boat ramp full of shell. We have potholes fixed once in a while, and garbage. And I'd put garbage at the top of them because our health and safety is involved in that. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. All right, Linda Willis.
Good morning. I've
Good
never
morning.
been here before. I've never met most of, well, any of you except Jimmy Sylvia. So this is my first time. and Hopefully it won't be the last, or maybe it will. First of all, we've heard so many rumors about the solid waste, and it's all been about Smith Point, Double Bayou, and Oak Island. We're small communities, lots of vacation homes, things like that sort. We've heard everything from the dump being closed, and I was told it was suggested by Mr. Sylvia, just shut the dumps down, let them drive to Anahuac. Y'all, come on, be sensible. You're 25 miles from Anahuac. Fuel prices the way they are. I don't like to haul garbage in my car, and I don't think you would either, not for 30 miles or 25 or 30 miles. Then we heard that the dump was going to be closed down to 3 weeks. Well, up to 3 days a
3
week,
days.
3 days a week. If the savings on those employees' wages being 3 days a week is going to make that much, that much difference. Is it going to make that much difference? You're still going to be handling the same amount of garbage, whether they bring it Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, or whether they bring it every day. The only thing you're going to really be saving, in my opinion, is employee salaries. Do they make that much money down there to save that many dollars for the county? I don't see it. I called Mr. Galloway with solid waste. I talked to Mr. Gore, who is our commissioner down there. Mr. Gore told me it was Mr. Galloway's idea. Mr. Galloway said, no, it wasn't my idea. It was Mr. Gore's idea and the other the other commissioners. And I thought, well, all I'm getting here is a runaround. Mr. Gore tells me it's countywide. Mr. Galloway says, no, this is only for Smith Point, Oak Island, and Double Bayou. I want to know the truth. Somebody's not giving straight answers over the phone. And that's a little exasperating, especially when you're looking at something that's involving your community. Like I said, Larry told you, we're a small community. Lots of people, Jerry Seafood put a lot of people out of work this year. It's sad to say, but it did. So they're having to scramble for jobs. Our church has had to go in and feed a lot of these families or help them. We haven't minded that, but just consider, I just think that before you adopt an ordinance, get to know our community. I was told that no businesses dump in our dump site. Well, that's not true. We have one major business that dumps not just a small amount, but a trailer load, a 6x8 by 6 foot tall trailer load into the roll-off dumpsters every other day. That's a lot of garbage. We have another one that uses only the residential waste receptacle, but they have several, at different times. It's an RV park. They bring the waste there to dump it in there.
Go ahead, you can wrap it up.
I see some
Just
say
maybe
that.
your time's up, but you can wrap it up.
My time is up already?
3 minutes. All right.
Lordy, okay, Mark, you take my list. I've got some ideas that will make you money without closing the dump down. I would like for you to consider some of these ideas before you consider closing the dump for 3 days or cutting these employees' hours for 3 days. I would really like for you to consider some of these ideas because it would make you money.
We'll be glad to consider those. And have you seen what's being proposed today?
No,
And I
I
don't-
looked everywhere and she
Hold
just
on,
found
hold
it.
on. Lauren, will you put that handout, a copy of it? It's on the Commissioner's Court agenda, which you can get online, but we'll print you a copy.
Well, I looked everywhere online and I could not find it. She
Did you find
finally
the
found
Commissioner's
it.
Court? Okay. you
She
did
finally
find it.
found it for me
Okay.
just before I came
And it's
up
being
here.
proposed. I mean, it's been put out there. It doesn't mean it's gonna be voted on today.
I would just like I said, I've got ideas that
Take
will
that around to
save,
Lauren and
that will
we'll
save you money.
take it around to Lauren and get her to make a copy of that for us too, please.
Okay.
All right, Mr. O'Grady, Mark O'Grady on 8.1. Good morning, sir.
Make room for the fat guy. Make room for the fat
Don't step on Miss Stanley.
guy.
You step on anybody else out there, but. Good morning.
Yes, sir. I've been down at Smith Point for about 12 years. And you can't, until you really get down there and get to know the people, you really don't realize how friendly and how nice a place it is. When you start taking things away, it's amazing. When you take things away, it's like your taxes. They go up, they never come back down. So if the dump starts taking things away, it's not something that we're liable to ever get back. Another thing is, I talk to our people that are down there, and right now, if you take the time to go down there, the debris from where it was when I got there 12 years ago, it's not been taken out. It's almost all the way up to where the people have to stay, which the problem you're running into is the insects, mosquitoes. When I talked to one of the people, they were like, it hadn't been removed since Ike. And that's one of the issues that also needs to be addressed, because if you don't, it's got to be taken care of. And I would appreciate, if that is looked into also. One thing I
You're
want
talking about
to
debris on
all the
glacial?
debris that goes, all your shrubbery and trees and stuff. It's bad. It's all the way around the whole.
Okay.
The one you got here ain't anything compared to what you got down there. But anyways, another thing, and it's really not on the agenda, just a real quick, you got 220 houses that are being built and another 550 houses that are proposed to be built next to that golf course. And I play every day, almost. This county when you compare that golf course to Eagle Point, it's coming. There's people that are going to be moving, and the county can do so much with that golf course, because I played that golf course when I was in high school. And that was 40 years ago. It's just something to look into, because there's not a lot of people taking care of that golf course, but the houses and all the people are coming. And I'm telling you, that can be, because it's got a great layout. Anyways, I appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right, Miss Stanley, Eddie, you want to take her microphone? Does she want, Miss Stanley want to say anything?
She just came with us and put her name on the deal out there.
Got it.
She's
Thank you.
happy with everything so far.
All right, good. Okay,
Can I make a comment from an environmental health standpoint about the waste sites?
sure.
With the collection?
Come
No, I
on.
didn't do.
Come on.
Yeah, I was right here, but I just have a question.
State name for the record, man.
Victoria with Chambers County Environmental Health.
Thank you.
So I just want to make a quick comment. I was discussing this with Debbie earlier. I did see the proposed just 3 days a week and such. I want to point out that also Smith Point is one of the communities in our unincorporated area that we have the least amount of nuisance complaints, especially as far as trash and rubbish is concerned. Now, if you've seen in other locations, we've had nuisance complaints arise where people will go to these abandoned or overgrown pieces of properties and just dump their trash and whatnot because they don't want to bother, they don't have anywhere to take it. I want to point out that that has never been the case down in Smith Point or not a lot in Oak Island or Double Bayou either. So keep that in mind as well. I actually am a resident of Smith Point, but I'm not using that. I'm just telling you from what I see, what the points they made, I would, consider, especially like I said, from an environmental health standpoint, we don't want to create situations that are going to increase our complaints in our area and cause environmental health concerns in our area.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
All right, Eddie, you want to come up? You know?
Sure.
All right, so
I'll make a comment too, Judge.
go ahead.
No.
All right, so you have in the packet from Eddie, Debbie. It's a proposal that we had discussed to putting out, whether we voted on it today or get community input and vote on it later, but you want to kind of hit the highlights of it?
Well, let me let Debbie, she's lined it all up better.
Good morning, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie Elliott, Solid Waste.
Pass the buck, huh?
Yeah, so we've been trying to cut cost at environmental health, at solid waste. And we just are looking for ways to improve our department. Yeah, and the thing about reducing the hours at those specific box sites, and I don't know if it was in the packet that we gave you or not, but looking over about the past 5 years and the amount of trash that we get at the different sites, Smith Point is one of the lowest. Smith Point, Double Bayou, Oak Island, and Wallaceville, all less than, I don't have the numbers in front of me. Was it in the packet?
One truck a week, one trailer a week or something.
No,
Yeah, well, percentage wise, we're talking like 2% of the trash that comes to our department. We take care of all the trash in Chambers County. Maybe 2% goes to Smith Point. So our thinking in reducing the hours was that, people could train themselves to use those 3 days to dispose of their trash. Because we need those resources at the other box sites that are doing 25 and 30% of the trash. We have 300-400 cars a day at some of these other sites when we only have, 10 or 12 at Smith Point. So it's not that we're trying to take anything away. We're just trying to make it better for everybody, because I live in Chambers County too, on the other side of the river, and I use the dump. So that's our thinking in spreading it out so that we can better utilize our resources. It's not trying to punish the people in Smith Point or Oak Island or anywhere for that matter. It's just the amount of trash and what it takes to dispose of it. So
So,
that was our
I
reason.
mean, this all started because it's costing us over $3 million a year
Correct.
to dispose of the waste in the county.
And going up.
Work it, and continue to go up. Where can we cut costs? How can we be more efficient? How can we save space in the landfill? What do we do to recoup some of that cost?
And I wasn't aware, I know someone had spoken about businesses that use the dump. Well, the collection sites are not for businesses. And
I didn't know that until I talked to Mr.
yeah,
Galloway.
and that's been
Okay,
a rule
okay,
for many years.
All right. Yeah, we're not gonna get in a
Yeah,
back and
but,
forth, so.
you know, but that's one of the things. I mean, what the collection sites are for all the citizens for their regular household waste, you know, that we generate in our houses. And so we're just trying to make it good for, you know, for everybody to be able to dispose of their trash in one way or another. And that's. Any
So
other
just
questions?
to summarize some of those numbers. So
Mhm.
the last 3 years, we've transferred over $2.5 million a year out of general fund into the solid waste site to cover that deficit there.
Right.
We're currently in the process of spending $2.2 million to build a new type 1 cell, which is for household trash,
Yes.
garbage, raw garbage.
Mhm.
So that's just some numbers right there. So Smith Point runs about 4 boxes a month compared to Mount Bellevue runs 120 boxes a month.
Yeah.
So you can see the disparity there and why some of this, and I got my name on this. I'm not shying away from that. So just looking at that and the load on some of those sites, it just doesn't justify being open 6 days a week.
Well, and I did
So-
extensive research around the state also at
Correct.
other facilities, which there are no other facilities like us. Chambers County has 8 collection sites, which is unheard of. There's not another county in Texas that has that many for their, and most people have to drive a very long distance. We fortunate in the fact that we don't, and that we do have these facilities. And one of the reasons for reducing the hours is so that we can still keep all the permits open. We don't want to close anything because Chambers County is growing and eventually they will have to be open more hours.
Well, a lot of counties don't even provide solid waste services.
None of them do,
Most-
not for no cost, or for a nominal cost like we charge for a dump sticker, you know, but most of them are everything that you dump. And as counties grow, what I've, just in my experience, what I've seen is that they grow and then they can't afford it. Like you're saying, we put so much money in, so they sell it out to a private entity like at Waste Management or Frontier Waste or someone like that. And then everyone's charged
And then the
for
cost
every
goes
bag of
sky high.
garbage.
Yeah.
We looked at getting out of the business years ago, when it was so costly to build new sales. And that's one of the reasons we stayed in the business, because what it would have done to our citizens, the cost, they did that in every county, and the cost just went sky. First couple of years was okay, but then after that, they had them and it's sky high. At Liberty County.
Yeah.
So, and I've worked with Tommy and Solid Waste also to put this together. So like Tommy said, my name's on it also. I'm not gonna shy away from that.
Well, I think all of our names are on it as far as looking at reducing hours or trying to consolidate sites. You know, we've been talking about that for a long time. But Jimmy, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to butt in on you, but you know, I've talked to Eddie, and I look at our solid waste department. It's an amenity that we offer our citizens that I think more of our citizens use than any other amenity that we offer. We spend a whole lot of money. We're spending a lot of money on baseball fields and the golf course and other things, but this is an amenity that everybody uses, you know, and I want to see us, quite frankly, you know, when we look at budgeting, maybe we need to increase instead of trying to decrease it. But it's an amenity I think we need to keep. I do think there's some legitimacy into trying to be efficient on our days and what we do. At least look at it and see how it works. We can always adjust it if it don't. But anyhow, I'll let you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Hammond's correct. We do spend a lot of money on solid waste. But I'll ask anybody on this court, we fund every office within this county. There's no office in this county that has been money maker. I mean, you say we put $2 million into solid waste. Who's our biggest budget in this county? Sheriff's office. It's not a money maker. The golf course not a money maker. So to single this out, something that Commissioner Combs and I agree on, that's something that's used by every citizen within the county, is really not fair. I mean, when you look at taking your dump sticker prices from $20 to $50 for 2 years, and then you look at the shape that this country is in, because of, I'll just say it, because of poor leadership at the top right now, and it's just, it's not right. When we go to $50 for one dump sticker, $100 for a second dump sticker in the same household, and then cap it at 2. When I have grandkids and everybody else that's gonna have vehicles, and say, I mean, I can't make it to the dump, he's gonna make it to the dump. I'm not in agreement with that. Then we take our veterans and our seniors and say, you get 1 free one a year. I got a brand new truck sitting in the parking lot, got a busted windshield. You cannot hardly get them dumpstered off. So the next thing is, we're saying that our seniors and our veterans gonna have to pay $50 or whatever the cost is for our second sticker.
No, you get a replacement sticker, isn't that correct?
Yes.
That's not what
Yes.
that's not what this says.
Well,
Oh, yes.
That's not what
you
this
do,
says.
it'll have to be added to it, because you do.
It had to be added to it, but that's not what this paperwork that we're voting on today says. It says it's 1 sticker a year for 2 years. That's what it says.
Yeah, one per
Senior.
per senior
one
or,
permit.
yes,
One
unless it was damaged or lost or stolen. I mean, we do replacement stickers. We
understand,
never charge
But
for
that's
that.
not the way it's worded in here.
Okay, well, that can be changed.
I'm just going by
Change it real
the way it's worded.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, that's not the
Then,
intention at all.
then my other deal is, we have a lot of people that live within this county that are up in age. This Stanley, like 100 years old. If she wants someone to come to her house and clean up debris, and they're gonna haul it off for free. And I heard a comment saying that that permit's being abused. Well, I mean, we issue them permits through our office. I mean, we don't issue that many. A lot of the temporary permits are for when people come in with license plates that are not on their vehicles. We have to give them a 30-day permit. That's what we do, a 30-day. But if a contractor comes in and says, I'm gonna go to Mark's house, Miss Stanley's house, and haul the debris to the landfill for nothing, that's wanting to be done away with, from what I understood.
Well, it is, and I don't know who you've talked to, but just being out there and seeing the contractors that take these, there's not anybody that's coming and doing stuff out of the goodness of their heart. They're not doing it for free. If they're not charging for the dumping, they're charging on top of that. And we do temporary permits for something like that. If she had a nephew, a son, someone from out of town that was gonna do it for her, we can work with all that.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm just going by the wording in here. It says it's supposed to be done away with. So
Yes.
I just want to watch that, because, I mean, it should be at our discretion. Because we know someone that, say their parent passes away and their kid comes in from Kalamazoo, Michigan, it doesn't matter, and they want to haul that stuff out to the landfill. It should be up to us to let them haul that stuff out there for free. They're going through enough grievance in their life.
And I think it is. I think that there definitely can be exceptions made, but the reason that we want it in writing is because there's so much abuse of the system. And I think a lot of that is, like I said before, we're the only county in Texas that allows this, that does this for their citizens. Everyone else has to pay. So these outside counties, such as Harris County and Baytown, Liberty County, Jefferson County, well, of course they want to come in here and bring their dump, because it doesn't cost them anything.
I'm not talking about county contractors, you're charging.
Well, we're trying, but when you have people just, come in and tell you, because we don't have in writing anything, there's loopholes that they can get in there and do. If they say it's coming from their house, then who are we to say it's not, So we're just trying to tighten it up a little bit to help prevent the abuse that's happening, not for the citizens. We don't want to put them in any more hardship
I understand.
for their trash, but that's, and maybe we're going, that's why we brought it to court.
Yeah, no, I understand. Unless they have a sticker on the truck, unless they have a permit from one of the commissioner's office, is the only way they should get around.
All right, and so one of the reasons this was all looked at to start with is we are taking trash from Chambers County taxpayers are paying trash that's coming from Jefferson County, Liberty County, and Harris County.
That's right.
And part of it's the reason that hey, somebody goes and buys a half dozen stickers and they're giving it to their family that lives in Jefferson County. They're selling it to their neighbor that lives in Jefferson County. It's abuse. It's being abused, and we Chambers County taxpayers are having to pay for it. So
Another real big abuse is not only that they're giving to people who don't actually live here, but we have a lot of people in our county that live here that also have businesses. They have trash businesses, they have remodeling businesses, they have RV parks, they have rental properties. If you have 20 rental houses and, or 12, say, and once every month, one of those people's moving out, you're having to put new carpet, you're doing painting, you're remodeling bathrooms. Well, all of that trash, that's not what the dump is designed for. The dump is designed for me and you and our household trash that we, generate at our house. And not for all these contractors, because when you have a business or you're a contractor, that's the cost of doing business. That shouldn't, the taxpayers of Chambers County shouldn't be letting a contractor or a business, we're paying for that as the taxpayers. And that's what we're trying to alleviate. It's
I agree
very
with that.
difficult.
I agree with that, but
Yeah.
also that house is being taxed at a higher rate. Everybody's taxes in this county have went up due to appraisals,
Yes.
but they're paying full value on that house through taxes that come into this county.
Yeah,
So
but that,
that tax comes into our general fund and funds your.
but everybody pays taxes,
I understand
depending
that.
on what you have, so.
So we take that in consideration.
But that's one of the reasons that we're trying to tighten it up, is because of so much abuse. And you wouldn't believe how many different ways or where trash is generated from. It's a huge business. And we're not in business. We're in the service business.
I agree, and we need to tighten up on the contractors.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. We can do that. We can work together to get that done.
So what had happened with the cameras?
I think.
It's in the works.
Yes, it's in the works.
So we're gonna start out with one in Winnie, and it's gonna be a license plate reader. And I don't know where we are on it. Y'all talked to we met a couple weeks ago. We need to get back with the sheriff's office and IT. See where we are, but it's coming, because we do want to make sure Chambers County residents are the one using.
If we cut out the abuse, we won't have an issue.
That's right.
That's gonna help tremendously.
And again, the out of county, but it's a lot of in county abuse too.
I understand. I said the abuse. I didn't say out of county.
Okay,
abuse.
but
I said
I
abuse.
just wanted to make that clear that.
All right, I don't think it's gonna be,
Wait a minute.
go ahead.
One thing,
Mhm.
cutting the hours back at those 3 block sites or 4 block sites, how much money you saving? We're talking a $2-3 million budget. How much money you saving?
I don't know money wise, and it's not just the money for the employee, we're eliminating 2 full-time positions at these box sites that are open all the time. And then we're able to use those full-time positions at some of these other box sites, like I say, that are 20-30% of the trash throughout the county.
Probably for a full-time employee, you're talking 50 to 60,000 a year with benefits. For a full-time employee, I'm just guessing.
How much is
Aaron,
this camera system costing us to watch and monitor?
Don't know yet.
Nothing to watch and monitor.
Oh, it's costing somebody to sit there.
No, it's,
I think it's gonna be in a database.
yeah, it's a database. It pulls, if somebody comes in, it's not in Chambers County, it flags them, it comes up. So,
Okay, how much is the camera system? That's gonna have to be subtracted from where we're trying to say.
I don't know, but
I'm just looking at all of it.
that system needs to be done.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, whether it's a full-time person there watching all the time or a license, I think we can do it cheaper with a license plate reader. Something that will read the tag or also snap the inspection sticker. I think you're gonna find most of the abuse is repeat offenders.
That's right.
Then if the person at the box site's supposed to be watching it also, right?
Well, yeah,
No.
but if they've got a sticker, they let them in.
They are,
It doesn't mean that they're living in Chambers County, that somehow they got a sticker. You know what I'm saying?
Contract.
and that's something I think we need to tighten down on. When I bought my truck, I went and got my sticker immediately. I put it in my console and it's over a year before anybody asked me about it.
And
We'll table it and take recommendation.
Yeah, so I don't think we vote on this today. We got it out there. Let citizens that would like to give us input. And then we'll table it and put it back on the next commissioner's court. So we appreciate you folks being here today and give us your input.
And I would urge anybody that wants to have input to go pull this out and read it thoroughly and see what all we're trying to do.
Yeah,
Because
and we've given them a copy.
everything I heard this morning was a lot of rumor.
Thank
based,
you.
Can I
so.
make one comment?
I usually don't allow that.
But I'd just like to make.
If you're gonna tell me how good my hair looks today, I'll let you.
Thank you. In our community, we drive our trash in our 4-wheelers. So what are you gonna do? They have-
Okay, all right, yeah,
They
but,
have no license plate.
all right, okay, that's good. Ms. Stanley, happy birthday again. Thank you for coming out this morning.
Thank y'all for recognizing her.
You're welcome. Bye-bye, Ms. Stanley.
Happy belated birthday again.
Yes, ma'am.
Happy birthday. Thank you.
Your Honor, I move to table item 8.1.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hammond, second by Commissioner Tice. Those in favor? Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Eddie. Debbie, thank you.
Thank you, Eddie.
They all put a lot of time into this. so
Thank you, Debbie.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Debbie.
All right, let's go to family done. 3.8. Park. Would you like to speak now? You want? All right, 3.8, discuss, consider Southwind's section 4 and 5. Variance request for the following requirements: minimum lot width, side lot setback, minimum back of curb to back of curb, paved roadway width.
I'll just wait for any questions.
Okay,
Thank you.
Commissioner.
Yeah, I did, I think Road Bridge went way in.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate, we've had some good meetings over the last couple of weeks discussing, talking about where we're at on this, and the additional fire retardant and different things that they were bringing to the table. With all that being said, and we have no objection to moving forward with the variance.
Okay,
What about the layback curb, the
Rollback curve.
rollback curb?
okay,
layback,
on
whatever?
that, the developer has agreed to put in the rollback curb.
Right.
There is an issue because the city of Baytown does not allow it. And I have sent an email to the acting city engineer. He has not responded. I spoke with the mayor and the mayor was going to get with him. However, they are actually, I think, at a conference at the moment. And so I can't get a hold of them today.
Do you have any idea why they don't allow it?
No, I don't know.
It just makes
I really
sense that
don't.
people can get off the road a little more.
I can't answer that. Do you know Parkway?
I don't know, but we sure be happy to. We want to.
Yeah, and they have agreed to do the rollback curb. They've also agreed to put any side lots, walls will be fire 100% a masonry type material that's fire retardant. So with that, I will move that we approve the variance.
Motion by Commissioner Cole,
Okay.
second by Commissioner Tice, go ahead.
That's including hardy side as part of your fire retardant.
Not the board, but the cement party plan. Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yes, sir. Is fire marshal good with?
He is.
Yes, he was good.
All right, any other questions? If not, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, commissioners. Thank you.
All right, let's go to 3.1. Discuss, consider approving change order 13 for the right quality payment adjustment, item 341, in amount of $25,982 to Sterling Delaware Holding Company, Texas Sterling Construction. Larry, good morning.
Judge Sylvia, Commissioners, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Larry Marr. I'm with DEC Corporation. I'm the engineer of record for FM 1409. Change order number 13 is to pay for a bonus to the contractor for completing a smooth road. TxDOT allows this based on a inertial profiler using an international roughness index. And they roll this profiler across the road up and down and measure the roughness. And depending upon that, if the road is smooth, then the contractor will get a bonus. If the road is rough, then the contractor has to pay a penalty. In this particular case, GMJ, the sub to Texas Sterling, completed a road that was quite smooth. If any of you have driven on it, you'll notice that.
That you go about 100 instead of 45.
Yeah.
Judge, I wasn't going to comment on that, but yes.
I'm talking about Aaron, not me.
Any further questions, comments?
Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
My only comment is,
Motion by Commissioner Hammond, second by Commissioner Combs. Go ahead.
my only comment is, heck, I mean, why would you give them a bonus for doing what they should have done first? What's it? I mean, that's my only comment. I mean,
That's been going
This is
around for,
I know, but they're hired to do a job and do it to the best of their ability. And you give them a bonus for doing the job the way it should have been done. That's my only comment.
You want to answer that, Corey?
We could get into it, but I mean, basically, all I can say is giving a bonus has improved the overall quality of pavements in Texas. So right or wrong, I won't get into it. It's something that TxDOT requires in the specification. And anyway, I don't disagree. I mean, everything should just be done to the same quality, but anyway.
Kind of like needlepoint.
I got a motion and a second. I knew that needle point comment was coming out. Those in favor? Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, Larry.
All right, we got a few minutes. Let's go to 9.1, discuss and consider nuisance abatement 416 Bertrand Street, Winnie, Texas, Victoria. Ms. Kramer, you want to wait? You want to speak now? You want
She can speak.
to? Okay, go ahead, Ms. Kramer. You have 3 minutes, ma'am.
Okay.
Just
Guess
comment.
finally come and got the dumpster out of the way.
Good.
And I was gonna, give them a shed, to keep their stuff in, but then there'd be another shed in the front yard again, because they have no backyard. But what I was thinking, if I fenced in the property, I could have an outer fence, and then about 4 foot out, I could have an inner fence. And they could store their stuff in between the fences. And as far as the RV, we gotta get in touch with he's a farmer, so I don't know what kind of time he's got. But I don't know if he's rice farmer or farm farmer. I don't know what kind of farmer he is.
So have you made some progress?
We got the garbage pretty well and a lot of stuff that needed to be thrown away out. And we still got a lot of work to go, but I think it's coming.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, Commissioners. I may have to bring this down because I'm too short and I can't reach the microphone. There we go.
There you go.
Perks of being short. So I submitted the pictures that were taken Friday, May 20th. As you can see, still the RVs are on site. There is some rubbish as in the front yard that is just strewn about. Of course, it's not the same amount of that may have initially been evident at the first time this was submitted to court. But if you can see as well, if you recall, I had mentioned that I had not been able to get into the backyard on previous occasions. I was able to do that this last time. And as you can see in the pictures, it is abundant. There's an abundance of rubbish. Just, I really can't even say, what all it is, because there was so much that I could not decipher what each and every single item was.
Feel like the first picture on the packet.
Yes, sir. The pictures that have the overgrown grass, that have overgrown vegetation mixed in with the piles of rubbish, that is the pictures of the backyard.
So is there a recommendation from environmental health?
Our recommendation would be for Chambers County to abate this property, get it cleaned up. This is, of course, a proposal on our part. You guys have the final word, and I know you want to take Ms. Kramer's comments into consideration. Now, I do know that as per a previous case we had on FM 565, we have to discuss with
County attorney.
yes, to discuss.
So even if we vote to go forward, there's still a process. She would still have some time to get things done before we.
Yes, sir. Now, the only reason, like I had mentioned at the first court, the reason that we had decided to go ahead and submit this to court for your consideration was because they had a year to get it cleaned up before we brought it to court. And we had already had another citizen complain about it. And we had informed them that, it was already in the process. We were already taking matters in it. And that's why we decided to bring it to court as well.
It's been a long time.
Yes, sir. It's
Sir.
been a long time.
Commissioner.
I just asked a question. I know our road and bridge or parks department do this. Is there any way that we can get set up, George, with a vendor that can do this a little more efficiently? I mean, is that something we can pay them and then do it like that?
No, we can,
I mean,
we get quotes, I mean.
You know what I'm
yeah, we
saying?
can-
Because
No, we don't have to do it.
our road and bridge and our parks department are just overwhelmed, and it could take months. If
For
we can
them
get
to
a
have
vendors list, I mean, I'm just asking this here to the court, if we got a couple of vendors that could do this in an efficient manner, I mean, what y'all thoughts on that?
We can get quotes and figure.
I'll go through their office and do an
If we go forward with it.
Yeah.
So I'll entertain a motion.
I want to make a comment regarding this. So in the past, we did contract out for a company to come in and clear some properties. As a matter of fact, one of those properties is in the process of getting the lien paid off. So, I mean, we did.
Who was it company, you recall?
I do not recall the
look
name
back.
off the top of my head. It was.
We find somebody.
Okay, I'm just saying that would take a little bit of load off of our departments.
All right, entertain a motion to approve the nuisance abatement for 416 Bertrand Street.
If that's what environmental suggestion, I make a motion, we'll go ahead and do it, Judge.
Based on the amount of
Motion
time.
by
yes.
Commissioner Gore, second by Commissioner Hammond. Any other questions, comments, those in favor? Opposed, motion carries. It's 10:31. We're gonna break this moment, but we passed the resolution.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, sorry. 1.3, moment of the memorial supporting Chambers County fallen officers at 10:30 a.m. Resolution was adopted May 10th, 2022. I'm gonna ask Commissioner Tice to go ahead and reread the resolution into the record. And then we're not going out by the memorial until you hear the rumble, so it's gonna be here in the courthouse.
I'll be happy to, Your Honor. Resolution, whereas the well-being of all people of the United States, the state of Texas, and Chambers County is preserved and enhanced as a direct result of the vigilance and dedication of our law enforcement officers. And whereas we rely on law enforcement officers to keep Chambers County safe, enforce our laws, and respond in times of crisis. And whereas it is law enforcement officers who stand ready to serve and protect even with their lives when necessary. And whereas 4 Chambers County peace officers have made the ultimate sacrifice. Sheriff John Leitner, Frost, end of watch, Saturday, November 10th, 1900. Deputy Constable Levi E. Oliver, end of watch, Wednesday, March 5th, 1930. Deputy Sheriff Dirk Ray Canarum, end of watch, Sunday, October 17th, 2004. Deputy Sheriff Shane Thomas Detweiler, end of watch, Monday, July 13th, 2009. And whereas we come together now to honor these fallen Chambers County officers and those officers across the state of Texas and our nation whose lives have been taken in the line of duty. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Commissioners Court of Chambers County, Texas, that all Chambers County residents honor the memory of Sheriff Frost, Sheriff Deputy Constable Oliver, Deputy Sheriff Canaran, and Deputy Sheriff Detweiler, and express our gratitude to our families for their dedication and service. And it be further resolved that we, the Chambers County Commissioners Court, that we, the Chambers Commissioners Court of Chambers County, Texas, pay tribute to these fallen officers and all law enforcement officers in Chambers County, the state of Texas, and the United States, serving to protect us from evil and preserving all freedoms.
Thank you, sir. And we approved it on May the 10th, as I said. We're gonna take a 15-minute recess and see you for. All right, Commissioner Court come to order after recess. Very nice. Memorial at the fallen off for the fallen officers ceremony. I appreciate the sheriff putting it on and everything that our law enforcement does. It is 11:16 a.m. and we're going to 3.2, discuss, consider approving change order number 1 for Silk Coat job, Joe Beeson Park in Oak Island in the amount of $22,160. Cowboy Asphalt Services LLC. You taking this too?
Yeah, I'll talk more with the judge. I ain't got my computer back up. I told Kurt, this is something that parking lot's been sitting for 2 or 3 years. And we really need to come back and seal coat it so it'll last. And Cowboy Asphalt is already on site. And all we have to do is a change order. And then he can stripe it. So it's a good deal.
It's paid 5 times.
You'll pay that a hot tax.
Motion by Commissioner Gore.
I'll make a motion for it.
Second by Commissioner Tice. Any questions?
Yeah, does that price, it doesn't include the striping? Will we do that in-house?
No, he's already bid on the striping. It was part of the initial bid.
So he did a level up?
No, this is in Oak Island.
Oh, this is Joe Beeson.
This is in Oak Island. And that was done 2 years ago, Corey?
About approximately, yes.
Yeah, and it's time to seal it so it'll last.
It was done in, after 2019, after Imelda.
Ida, I was thinking, what did Ida come from? Those in favor? Opposed, motion carries. 3.3, discuss, consider going out for construction inspection RFQs. Tommy, thank you. You want that?
No, I wanted to table.
3.3.
Yeah, 3.3 and 3.4.
3.4.
Oh, wait a minute, no, I'm on the wrong one. I
3.3
apologize. I apologize.
is
Wrong
the
one.
construction inspection RFQs.
Yeah.
Tommy,
For me?
for you.
All right. So this is mainly just to go out and get a new list for construction inspection companies that we can use. And also kind of expand those services to maybe include subdivision plat reviews. So I think our group's a little bit loaded up with that. So I think we can use some support there. Just mainly get a fresh list. We got a lot of work coming up. So.
Motion by Commissioner Hammond. Second by Commissioner Tice. Questions? Those in favor? Opposed, motion carries. 3.4, public hearing, 10 a.m. It's now 11:18 a.m. to review changes to road and bridge drainage subdivision and infrastructure criteria manuals. So 11:19, we'll recess out of regular session and go to public hearing. Are there any public comments? Any public comments regarding the road and bridge drainage subdivision infrastructure criteria manual? Public comments, still at 11:19 a.m. We'll go back in regular session. 3.5, discuss, consider adopting changes to the road and bridge drainage subdivision infrastructure criteria manuals.
Judge, that's the one I want to table. If we could, I'd like to table it till 6/28. I'll be out of town on the first court in June. But I'd like for all of our commissioners, everybody look at this real close. And let's make sure we work it out. I want to commend Road and Bridge for all the work in it, but it is a lot of changes and we really need to look at it. I know I got about halfway through it and I've got at least a half a dozen comments and things I want to look at. So.
I agree.
Okay, so
6/28.
you want to put that in motion? Motion by
That is my
Commissioner
motion.
Combs, second by Commissioner Tice. To table it until 6/28/22. And actually, we're gonna have to set it for another public hearing with the changes to that. So we'll set it for another public hearing and then vote on it at that time. And we need to get with Ryan with the other changes that are being proposed and go ahead and incorporate those with the committee he's got on the.
Yes, sir. I'll get, right.
Okay.
We can do that. That's good comment.
All right, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 3.6, discuss, consider variance request from TGS concerning drainage requirements for 900,000 square foot building. Just taking it, Corey.
I will take that. And Road and Bridges looked at this. We have no objection to this variance request.
I have one comment on it. It says 900-foot building, but the letter says it's a 496,000 square foot building.
John, would you come to the microphone, state your name for the record, please?
John Klein, TGSC report. It's a 496 expandable to 900. As fast as it looks like it may be taken down, we may not stop at the 496 and go to the full 900.
So you're getting approved for the 900?
Yeah.
Because that's the maximum that it could be.
Okay.
So the
Wait.
temporary,
Motion by Commissioner Tice,
Second.
second by Commissioner Combs. Go ahead.
so the temporary drainage is just actually going where the future warehouse will go?
It's going in the parking lot, but what we're asking not to do is to pour the concrete weir structures because we're gonna have to knock them out.
And then put in the permanent
Put in the permanent
drainage
park-
and
Yes.
parking lot.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, I got a motion and a second. Are there any other questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 3.7, discuss, consider approving and accepting an acknowledgement donation of money and real property for drainage in Chambers County, Texas for Kilgore Parkway expansion project. Go ahead, Corey.
Yes, so this is on the Kilgore project we've been working on for quite some time. Billy and I have been working with the property owner out there. This is a win-win solution for both the county and the property owner to be able to provide a drainage path for them and for Kilgore Parkway and sharing those costs based on the usage of that pathway. And so this is a very fair and win-win. Like I said, it's a win-win for both parties and definitely support this.
So who is the landowner?
Texan Hospitality. That was the last parcel of land that were needed for Kilgore Parkway. And also, they just happen to have a drainage pathway that goes down to Hackberry. So we're able to utilize their drainage pathway instead of us having to acquire one. And they are actually donating the land as part of this deal. So, and Nathan, I think there was a minor change to the document other than what was in the packet.
Yeah, we fixed that and I emailed it to you.
Right, right.
Okay, so
I just want to bring it up.
the motion is going to be to approve it with the change presented by Nathan Brown.
Right.
Is that your motion?
That's my motion.
Motion by Commissioner Combs. Second by Commissioner Gore. Any questions, comments?
Oh,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So all this watershed is gonna dump into Hackberry Creek on the west side of 3180?
Yep, currently does too.
Okay.
And this will meet the requirements for Atlas 14 on the 100-year storm. And so we met all of those requirements and the property owners will as well. They have to have a detention pond before coming through the drainage path.
Right.
To meet Atlas 14 requirements.
So it'll drain underneath Kilgore.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, and
To the
it'll be,
north.
yes, and there's the 60-foot that's in there is only wide enough for a box culvert. So it's gonna be boxed all the way up. There won't have open ditch, which will help with maintenance down the road.
Yeah, at that point, all we have to do is mow it.
Right.
So everything on the south side of Kilgore will be boxed,
Yes,
this section right here.
Just going under Kilgore. So they'll have a detention pond that ties into our right-of-way line with the box culvert that goes under Kilgore and then continues to the north through that turn up to Hackberry.
yeah, that whole blue line will be boxed.
Oh, this all be boxed.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's actually, all of that's already in the contract that we've already let and awarded.
And that'll be the first thing that's starting in, they've got those in order and they're coming in and that'll be the first thing as they start the work because they need some dirt in other areas. So as they're starting the project here next week, that'll be in place very quickly.
Okay, and I looked at those, now it looks like it's costing the county about,
These are cost savings to the county.
Yeah, you're still constant.
I mean, what we did, we took the flow rates, the amount of dirt, water that we're taking for the road, and the amount of water that's coming from their subdivision, and we prorated it based on that. County's paying like 33%, he's paying, well, no, 37%, he's paying 63%.
But the fees that you're seeing in there are already paid fees. They're already in the existing construction project, and they're already engineered through Friesen Nichols' current contract. So these fees are things that are already being paid by the county. And then what you're seeing is basically a reimbursement structure back on the portion that's
Correct.
their part.
Now, going under Kilgore, you said,
Yes, sir.
okay, we calculated everything that could be developed in that area, so we don't back up going under. I mean, we just-
Yeah, so everything, this meets the Atlas 14 requirements, and everything that dumps into it will have to meet those same requirements if detention prior to coming to the right of way.
Okay, so it won't increase the amount of flow going under to back up on the.
It has to be designed to pre-existing flows. So whatever detention is needed to match and to discharge for pre-existing flows.
Okay.
And it's taken in everything you see highlighted.
Yes.
It's the watershed that goes through that already.
So
That
we're
is correct.
saving 290,000 by doing this.
Right, like Corey said, we would have to put it in anyhow. Without this, basically, we're getting reimbursed 63%.
Or the other option was to push it to 3180 and have to deal with TxDOT and redo 3180 over there to make it go, which
Which was the route they were trying to go the first time, and they found out it wasn't feasible to do that.
it'd be a huge challenge.
It's like 800,000, Judge, between the
Right there.
land and the
Right
tax
there.
donation.
So is that coming out of our Kilgore drainage project money?
No.
No.
Right.
It's the,
Kilgore.
extension widening.
The CO for Kilgore Extension.
Extension widening, it's coming out of there. Okay,
Yeah, we got to do drainage for the road anyway. So
Yeah.
that's it.
cool.
And like Corey said, I mean, that's already in our bid. So basically, what we're getting here is a reimbursement in the land.
Fine, guys.
All that other money that you're seeing on the county side has already been approved and for expenditure. And then this is just basically a reimbursement structure to that.
Okay.
All right, got a motion and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Got me clear.
Economic Development Tourism, 5.1. Public hearing at 10 a.m. regarding proposed Chambers Parkway Transportation Reinvestment Zones, 10:28 a.m. We will recess, out of the, thank you. 11:28 a.m. We'll recess out of regular session, go into public hearing. This time, BJ,
Thank you,
we're not keep you around.
Judge and Commissioners. Today's public hearing was scheduled per the requirements of section 222-107 of the Texas Transportation Code related to the proposed Chambers Parkway Transportation Reinvestment Zone. However, activities that were supposed to be consummated today were going to be delayed somewhat because of some changes related to valuation and for the base value, if you will. Looking at the public hearing notice, the intent today was to formally adopt and create the Transportation Reinvestment Zone as authorized and establish and formalize the boundaries, the base year, base value, and benefits. However, boundaries have been established and depicted, but after doing some work with the appraisal district and others, is that there's going to be a requirement to further define the boundaries with meets and bounds with the survey. So we're requesting feedback and input from the court today to conduct a survey to more formally distinguish and describe the reinvestment zone. Initial estimates that were presented in the illustration that's in your package represented approximately 1,500 or so acres. When the appraisal district did their assessment and alignment, it has grown to about 1,900 acres. And so that variation, if you will, is creating some concerns. And so just as we would, is just the appraisal district would for any special purpose district that has a taxing, so that they can address an appraisal role associated with that, a survey is going to be required. So requesting permission from the court to conduct a survey associated with that. The other issue is some valuations of parcels are under protest. Several hundred acres are currently under protest. And so that resolution and some of the adjustments that are being made by the appraisal district is recommended that all be satisfied, if you will, before going through it, doing the estimate for respect to the base value so that the increment can be appropriately accounted for over time. So that's the framework for today. However, there is a piece of work and business that the court can do today after getting any feedback that may be presented, is to formally establish the year of 2022 as the base year for the reinvestment zone. And you should have a copy of an order that addresses that.
Okay, so we are in public hearing on the public comment regarding the Chambers Parkway Transportation Reinvestment Zone. For now, we will adjourn out of the public hearing at 11:31 a.m. Go back to the regular session. 5.2, discuss and consider Chambers Parkway Transportation Reinvestment Zone Administrative Framework.
Yes, and the intent of that, the action judge and commissioners, was to speak to the fact that the court is going to oversee the fiduciary operations of the oversight of the reinvestment zone as per statute. There's not unlike a tax increment reinvestment zone. Typically, there's an advisory board, a special body of folks who oversee that. But in this case, it's going to be the county. Also, considerations to actually consider the resolution or the order that has been presented today that you may have a copy of. Do you have a copy of that?
I don't think the resolution was in the packet.
No.
No, it wasn't. It's a hard copy, and we have
So are you ready to approve it, or we need to wait till the?
we can, either way, but the court must take action in order to ensure that that piece of work, because the time is spreading, that the court moves to accept or just to name the year of 2022 as the base year for the.
Judge, I would make a motion that we formally adopt the year 2022 as the base year for the Chambers Parkway Transportation Reinvestment Zone.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Combs, second by Commissioner Hammond. Any other questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 5.3, discuss and consider Houston Transloading Partners LLC, one LLC, tax abated
Sir,
reinvestment.
Judge, can I go back one?
Sure.
One quick second. Back to the reinvestment zone.
Yes,
Do we need to authorize a survey?
yes. And either working through the court, or we can do it and then come back to the court to reimbursement, what have you. But we need to do that. Some action needs to be placed to effectuate that survey.
It'd be in your motion.
Can I modify my motion to include that?
Yeah, you can modify it or you can make another motion. It's up to you.
Okay, I will make a motion that we also authorize the survey of the area to establish the boundaries.
Yes. It's such a large parcel as compared to most transportation investments.
And most by Commissioner Combs, second by Commissioner Hammond. Okay. All right, any questions on that motion? Those in favor? Opposed, motion carries. Now 5.3. BJ,
I'm sorry,
it's okay.
but it's 5.3 again.
5.3 is Houston Transloading Partners.
Thank you. Very good. If you recall, during the previous court, this application was presented for the court for review and approval. This is a project that is going to be accommodating the Houston Transloading Partners I-1 LLC, which is NFI. It's a target project. You're going to be building a 180,000 square foot facility in Cedar Port. And the stipulation was that the application was approved and we moved forward with the application to move forward with establishing reinvestment zone once the minimum inventory estimates would be provided by the tenant. And they provided an estimate, approximately $7.5 million, per year over term of the agreement. And that's going to be embodied in the agreement, just as the other contracts that the county has approved. And so given this, the courts considered that, given that this information has been provided to the court, that they would move forward with approving the application as noted, and then moving forward with approving the application to designate the reinvestment zone as the application states, and to conduct a public hearing on June 14th.
So
2020.
$7.5 million guaranteed inventory to be taxed.
Each year.
And that's per the life.
Per the life of the
I just
contract.
repeat to make sure everybody.
It's what's unique about this operation is that it's a small facility, and they are coming in right now, reworking the Exeter building, but they move product out, quickly. as part of their operational philosophy. And so that $7.5 million estimate seems low, but at any given time, given who their client is, on January 1 or whenever the rendering is submitted, they may have a warehouse full of toilet paper, but they also may have a warehouse full of big screen TVs. So it's just the nature of how they operate. So that 7.5 may sound low, but it's consistent with.
You're saying toilet paper is not valuable?
Well, it is.
I'm fixing that might be more valuable than TV.
Yeah. Sure. Just-
You can live without TV.
And this is an attempt to simply wipe the slate clean, so.
No pun, no pun intended.
Come on, big guy.
I knew you had it.
All right, I entertain a motion before it gets any deeper.
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Todd, second by Commissioner Combs. Any other questions?
Question.
Go ahead.
So they got 40-acre tract. They're building a little bitty warehouse on it. So.
Yeah, it's just, trucks and containers and that whole operation. I'm sorry. But,
Come on, John, please.
I assume that would be like.
Commissioner, they're gonna be taking ocean going containers off the port, unstuffing them and stuffing them back in the 53-foot trailers for distribution. Is what'll happen at the warehouse.
So they would use all that property for that.
Yes, sir. That's a lot of containers and a lot of trucks
Okay.
and just stuff moving to the warehouse.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
I got a motion second. Any other questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 5-4, discuss and consider SBR Cedar Port 2 owner LB tax abatement application and Senate recommendation. BJ.
Yes, thank you, Judge and Commissioners. You recall this application was accepted by court last court. SBR Cedar Port 2 owner LP essentially is phase 2 of the Plastic Express project that's currently being commissioned in the Cedar Port Industrial Park. Just a quick review of the project profile. It's a build-to-suit operation about a little over 800,000 square feet. Will create approximately 100 full-time jobs and invest approximately $56 million in improvements. The economic impact is illustrated as part of the recommendation, consistent with other transportation and warehousing storage operations in the county, good paying jobs, good wage moving forward. The recommendation that's noted as part of the overview is based upon an analysis consistent with their previous phase 1. But I took some time to take a look at two things, given the nature of this project. Plastic Express is joining a number of plastics distributors and packagers in the West Chambers County area and Cedarport and Ameriport and other places. And so on page 2 of the recommendation, we wanted to illustrate market prices as of mid-March of 2022 of some of this product that's flowing through the county. And so this cutout, which is provided by from Plastics Technology in their April edition, shows resin grade prices across all grades, high density, low density, PVC, polypropylene and the like. And the average price per pound is $87 per pound. In the model that you also have as part of the recommendations, that's based upon or predicated on a 50 cent per pound price for resin in general, which was the same stipulation or estimate that was provided when the court approved the Plastic Express phase 1. So in the economic model that's provided for you, it illustrates the recommended tax abatement, which is a little less than what they received in their first abatement, which was 55%. This is a 50-50 split, if you will, between the county and Plastic Express, and see the potential revenue based upon the discounted value of $54.8 million, and the abatement would be effective at maximum value once upon completion and appreciated at 2% over term. And so the net revenue that the county would derive is looking at the revenue associated with holding the tax rate constant over term, plus the anticipated stipulated minimum revenue that's going to be stipulated in the contract. It's about $3.6 million over a 10-year period. So it's very consistent with what was approved for phase 1. So what is before you today is a request to approve the application. Now, it was accepted last court to approve the application, including the variance request, which is noted on the application, and then consider a 10-year term at 50% abatement as noted in mine.
So this is showing, BJ.
Yes.
Very good job. And it's showing $140,822 taxes the first year.
Yes,
And
that's
then inventory $202,309.
That's correct.
And at the end of 10 years, we'll collect $3.5 million.
3.6.
At the abated deal.
That's correct.
And this is a minimum
This is a
that
minimum.
we may collect.
Yeah, it's estimated, because, just as a note, and I'm sure everybody is aware of it, the tsunami of plastics that everybody anticipated once these expansions were completed, did not manifest, but it is manifesting in a big way now. Yeah, so it's just really moving through for various reasons, but thought it would be prudent and going forward when we're moving forward with recommendations for consideration for projects to at least give some industry insight, just as the profile that I provided to the court today, as to the inventory impact of the products that move to the.
That's what I want everybody to understand. This is conservative, doing it conservatively. We're still collecting $3.6 million.
All right, entertain a motion. Motion by Commissioner Gore, second by Commissioner Hammond. Any questions?
Yeah, John.
Those in favor?
My bad.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, BJ.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, BJ.
Thank you.
And if you didn't know it,
Thank you, John.
thanks, John. We had ribbon cutting on Grand Parkway, Highway 99 last week, going north from I-10 all the way to 59, north of Humble. I gave some brief remarks. Part of it was the fact that Judge Nelson came to me in 1993 and said, brand new commissioner, said, hey, we're gonna give $500,000 to purchase this right away for this Grand Parkway that's coming along. And of course, I was kind of freaking out. It's a whole lot of money.
Did you stay in budgets? All we want to know.
Judge Nelson was budget all three, had it in his tight grip, but he has the foresight and you see what's there now. So proud of our full fathers.
Hey, so the tolls from 565 to 45 for $9.
Do what?
$9.
A little bit closer to 10.
It goes by mileage too. I didn't realize that till we were on the bus that day. It's so many, more miles, the more it costs you for each toll.
Yeah.
So, hey, it's worth 30 minutes to 59, you know?
I drove up there.
All right, 6.1, discuss consider placing signage along, I'm about to get to you guys. Place the signage along Turtle Bow, I-10 Bridge to Lake Anahuac, and I-10 Bridge, North County line, no wake zone, and or trolley motor only. Commissioner Gore.
Okay, we had this on the agenda here a couple of courts ago, and the sheriff made a comment that it's not enforceable. And so we do a wait zone that is enforceable to the Lake Anahuac from Wax Park. Above Interstate 10, so we're gonna do the no wait zone, and I would like to put the trolling motor in there just because I'm still getting calls of big boats running up through there. It's so narrow that people almost get swamped out of their boats. So the no wait zone would take care of it, but the no trolling motor just get added. Same, no trolling motor?
So
No big motor, trolling motor only. And if you ever, we got a lot of kayakers and a lot of other people that come down through that little narrow bayou, and it'd be just a lot safer for them.
Okay, so you're proposing a no wake zone for from Interstate 10 all the way to Lake
Lake
Anahuac. Well, actually, you're proposing no wake zone on the whole thing.
Yes, from county line to Lake Anahuac, and then no trolling motor north of Interstate.
And then trolley motor only, I think.
Trolling motor only, let me get it right. Trolling motor only above Interstate 10.
From Interstate 10 to county line.
Yes.
That's your motion.
That's my.
Motion by Commissioner Gore. Second by Commissioner Tice. Questions?
Yeah, discussion.
Go ahead.
I'm 100% for the no wake zone. From the county line down to the lake. So I went back, talked to Dockery again yesterday. And so this is a really good idea. The trolling motor only deal doesn't work that well.
No, it doesn't. The game warden came for it.
So, well, there's more to it. So one thing we have to write an ordinance to start with, because if you just go put a sign up and sign don't mean anything, there has to be an ordinance passed by the court to enforce that. And then also, if we have no wake zones, we can take that and go to the Texas State Registry and get that on the registry, and then our game wardens can enforce that. So, but when we do that, we also have some other areas like, there's one in Dope Bio. There's another one somewhere else in Chambers County. So, I'd like to do that. Yeah, I'd like to do that and get all that done. But for this right here, I would support all the way the no wake zone and not the troll motor deal. So,
Do we have to have an ordinance for the no wake zone?
yes, we do.
Okay, you want to table it, work together, and get all the deals
Sure.
together?
I'll be fine with that.
Greg, I'll receive my motion
I'll rescind mine.
to table it and work with the Commissioner Hammond.
All right, 6.1 is tabled.
I'm supporting this all the way. We just, I just
Yeah, no,
want to get
no.
it right. So
Let's work and get all the
we got it right. It's enforced.
watersheds together and get it. Okay, I appreciate
You
it.
know, we are Parks and Wildlife partners can help us out.
All right, we table 6.1. We're going to health and welfare. 14.1, discuss consider request from Omnipoint Health requesting 500,000 disbursement for a CT machine at the Anahuac Hospital. Commissioner Gore.
Omnipoint approached me about the 500,000 we budgeted last year, which we budgeted for a tax reduction. Spoke with Mike and them and explained that to them and asked them to come present their side of it today and see if possibly we could work out an agreement. So I'm gonna turn the table over to them.
Y'all don't all look at each other.
Ask Buck.
All right, state your name for the record, please.
Mike Emmons.
Thanks, Mike.
He don't mind talking, so.
Is that good or bad?
That's good. That's a good thing. So,
Okay. You know, recently we've had some change at the hospital. We went through some bad times. We want to put those behind us, and we have a lot of work ahead of us that we need to work on. The election happened. We replaced some board members that were there. And we have some new board members that are committed to the citizens. I was elected chairman of the board. Andy Legg here is my right-hand man. He's a vice president. And Linda and Leslie Turner, Miss Brown. So we've come to a critical moment in our lives right now that our piece of equipment, our CT machine, has reached the end of its life. And we serve the indigent care. We are a nonprofit 501(c)(3). And the money last year was budgeted to cut the taxes. And we cut taxes. And we service indigent care throughout the whole county. And the indigent care in the west side and the east side and in mid county, we service those people. We're not asking for a vote today, but we'd like to continue to have this dialogue to be able to talk about this a little more. And so we can figure out how to be able to get the money that was set aside for tax cutting this year. And to next year to be able to, we'll come back and ask for more for that part of it.
So y'all want to vote on the 500,000 today? I said y'all wanting to vote on the 500,000 for the CT.
Well, we like one, but I think maybe we need to talk with you, Your Honor.
Yeah, I think there's some stuff we need to work out, Judge.
And I think there's some things we need to work out, but
How much did you cut taxes? Remind me.
15 cents, sir. Went from 48 cents to 32 point something.
Significant, yeah.
They did stand by the word to cut taxes, and I applaud them for that. And just like I told Mike, I'm in 100% support of the hospital and what they're doing and the direction they're going. We just need to look at true numbers on indigent, and I've expressed this. We need to look at true numbers on financials. We need to have an agreement between the county and them on this money. It needs to go in a separate checking account, and then we need to be able to talk in the air. And so we have some stuff we need to work out, and I believe that's what he is presenting today. I don't know if we could vote today and award the funds with everything that we need to.
You could, but it'd probably be cleaner if you go
It'd
back.
be
and put
cleaner if
everything
we
in
went
place.
back and
I agree.
look at it because during budget, we said it's for tax cut. Commissioner Hammond?
Yeah, I wouldn't be comfortable with any action today. So, and I've reiterated to Mike several times that we're in full support of him and his new group in getting the hospital on track. But there's still a lot of concern there. I mean, y'all hadn't had a financial report for the last year, so
Correct,
don't really
sir.
know where your checkbook's at, and where everything's at. So I think we just need to try to answer some of those questions.
You start off on a clean slate.
Yeah, kind of.
And you said that you'll, I'm sorry, Commissioner, you said you'll have all this information by,
We should be by the end of June. It's unbelievable what type of mess, but we want to go forward and correct those things. And
We're here to work with you, Mike.
Yeah, this is not a no. So I just
Right. Yes,
want you to be clear on that. It's not a no.
yes, sir.
But I think we need to answer some questions. You know, we gotta figure out what the best path forward is to help y'all be successful. So.
Fiddle table this to the last court in June.
Yeah, Andy would like to add
Come on,
something,
Andy.
and Paul would like to add some critical parts.
Cool.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, I'm Andy Layton. Thank y'all for your time. And appreciate everybody's support in the election. But the machine, my understanding, the machine is 20 years old, and it's actually shutting down the ER. So the ER does service indigent care on both sides of the county, if you're on the east side and west side. Mid county. So if somebody on the west side, if they were to need a CT scan and not be insured, the likelihood of them needing care, needing a CT scan and coming to our emergency room here in Anahuac is very likely. When that machine is down, the ambulances are not stopping at our hospital right now. So you're transportation challenged, and the indigent care coming on all parts of the county, they're coming to that facility. Even if they're an ambulance, they're driving right by the facility because they can't provide the adequate care when it's down. It's been down at least 3 or 4 times in the last 7 or 8 weeks. It's old enough, they're not able to get part. The service company is fixing to cancel the contract on it, the service contract, because they're not able to provide parts for it anymore. They're having trouble locating the parts for an old machine. So it is essential to care. It's essential to emergency care. And I do think with the supply chain issues right now and the quotes that we've received for the machines, you're looking at earliest delivery date being around September if we order now. So I do feel that it's not an emergency right now. If the machine breaks down, every time it breaks down, it is an emergency to get that machine back on.
and I was curious, I mean, and like Commissioner Hammond said, your books, you haven't had a
Absolutely.
books in a while. I mean, y'all could have the funds available now to go ahead and do it. You don't know, and we could reimburse you. So I mean, if
Absolutely
we
agree.
decide to go that way, so I mean.
Yeah, and I know that Paul has told us about a grant that there's also being applied for that will be applied with it to purchase a machine. But I do think that it is urgent that we do. Absolutely on the finances, that's something we're pushing. We're already making changes at the board right now. This last week, my first meeting, not my first meeting, I've been to many meetings, but my first meeting as a board member. Mike, as chair, he appointed a finance committee, and we're kind of putting the finances on hypercare right now. We're going to really be more engaged than ever in what's going on there, and not only fix this problem, we're going to fix it in the future where we don't get this way again. But we do have issues and such as this. I'm also asking questions about asset management, which is more in my wheelhouse for my daily job that I do every day. If this machine's 20 years old and it's broken, what else do we have? And we need to be looking at that for budgetary purposes. But we do need to get past this CT thing. Again, it's not an emergency right now today, but if it breaks this afternoon, it's then an emergency to get it fixed. Just wanted to communicate that part of it. I'll let Paul speak to anything else. Thank you again.
Paul Aslan, I'm the interim CEO for Omnipoint Health, and I'll be short. I just wanted to point out something. There's an article that came out recently that talked about Chambers County being the 3rd richest or 4th richest county in Texas. Did y'all see that? So one of the numbers that stood out to me when you look at that, how we're different than 1, 2, and 3, and 5, 6, and 7 is they had another number in there, and it was the percent of our low income population, and we were double of the top 3 and the people below us, and so that's who we're here to serve. We're making steps in the right direction. We're getting direction with our new fully seated board. We will have financials at our board meeting on Thursday, and going forward, we hope to have, make that a process that we'll do every month. We appreciate y'all and the job that you play in serving our community and working with us, and we're looking forward to continuing that relationship. Thank you.
Us as well.
Quick question, what is the CT machine cost?
It depends if we get a refurbished or brand new. A brand new one will be a little under 600,000, and we can get a refurbished for about 400,000.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions? Okay, we'll table this to the second court in June. Maybe you'll have everything done by then. Okay, thank you guys. Sorry to make y'all wait all morning.
Thank you. We'll set up some meetings with us and the judge.
Okay,
Each and every one.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
all right, I think we're done, down to the consent. Precinct 1. Precinct 2. Precinct 3.
I need to remove item. I forgot my cheat sheet.
Yeah.
Let's skip over to 4.
Yeah, go for it. I'm trying to find.
Commissioner Collins.
Yeah, I just want to congratulate and thank our economic development and our road and bridge department for their timely and thorough work on getting this transportation grant applied for. It was a lot of work in a short time. I appreciate it.
Good job. Tommy.
Number 12.
So what about 12? You wanna-
Yeah, Quentin needed to correct some numbers on that. So we just need to table it.
Okay, so table number 12. Anything else? Entertain a motion for consent except for number 12.
So many, Judge.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Combs. Ty, second by Commissioner Combs. Been a long morning. Those in favor? Opposed, motion carried. It's 11:58 a.m. To the executive session, 20.1, discuss consider personnel issues. 20.2, discuss and consider sale of purchase real property. 11:58 a.m. is recess to 11:58. Thank you, Lauren. Right.